it's Bob Mason from FX Empire, and welcome to another crypto daily tech review of Bitcoin, EOS, Ethereum, and Ripple's XRP. It is Thursday, the 2nd of July. Jumping straight into Bitcoin against the dollar and the daily candlesticks. It's a relatively bullish start to the day. Going to need to see Bitcoin avoid the pivot at 92.15 to support a run at the first major resistance level at 93.22. Support from the broader market to break out from yesterday's high that was at 92.98. By an extended rally on the day, that first major resistance level and Wednesday's high should cap any upside. Should be looking for a move through to 9,400 levels, however, to support that near-term bullish trend. Failure to hold above the pivot would bring that first major support level sitting at 91.33 into play. Barring an extended sell-off, however, we should see Bitcoin avoid sub 9,000. The second major support level sits at 90.27. On the trend analysis, first key support level here sits at 88.55. So a pullback through the 23.6% fib at 8,900 would bring this second key support level at 86.20 into play. A breakdown through there, and that's a bullish trend reversal. Continued momentum northwards through the day's resistance levels. Bitcoin will need to target 9,500. That's been a long-term resistance level, to then break through to the first key resistance level at 10,012, and then a move through to 10,398 to support that near-term bullish trend formed back in mid-March. Moving across to EOS against the dollar. Relatively bullish start to the day. Going to need to see EOS avoid fallback through the pivot that sits at 38.16 to support a run at this first major resistance level at 40.39. Again, it's going to need to see support from the broader market to break out from Wednesday's high. Those at 40.67. Fallback through the pivot would bring the first major support level sitting at 35.64 into play. Barring extended sell-off, we should see EOS avoid sub 230s. We've got the second major support level sitting at 33.41 to limit the downside. Looking at the daily candlesticks and the trends and the MACD, see the histograms narrowing here, suggesting a possible bullish crossover. On the near-term bullish trend, EOS is going to need to avoid a fall through today's support levels to avoid this key support level at 2.19. A breakdown through there, and we're going to see a reversal of that near-term bullish trend. Going to need to see a break back through to 290s to support the near-term bullish trend, and then a breakthrough to 311s. That would be bullish, but near-term, got to break out from 250s to support a run at 290s. So on the day, avoiding a fall through that first major resistance level will be key, and avoiding sub 220s. Moving across to Ethereum against the dollar. Relatively bullish start to the day. Going to need to see Ethereum avoid the pivot at 229.30 to support a run at this first major resistance level sitting at 234.50. Going to need to see support from the broader market to break out from Wednesday's high that was at 232.77. So barring extended sell-off, that first major resistance level and resistance at 235 should cap any upside. Fall through the pivot would bring that first major support level sitting at 225.84 into play. Barring extended sell-off, should see Ethereum avoid sub 220s. Got the second major support level sitting at 220.64. Looking at the daily candlesticks and the MACD, seeing the histograms narrowing here with a possible bullish crossover. So avoiding a fall through the pivot at 229.30 will be key on the day to support another upward move. Avoiding sub 215s is key for Ethereum near term. A fall through sub 215s would bring that key support level on the trends. into play that would then bring a near-term bearish trend into play. Going to need to see a move back through to 250s and then a breakout from the 23.6% fib at 257s to support that near-term bullish trend. Moving across to Ripple's XRP against the dollar. Relatively bullish start to the day. Going to need to see Ripple's XRP avoid a fall through the pivot at 1764 to support a run at its first major resistance level sitting at 1787. Support from the broader market would bring Wednesday's high at 1784 into play and that first major resistance level. Extended rally should bring 18s into play, but we shouldn't see anything beyond that. Fall through the pivot would bring the first major support level sitting at 1743 into play. Barring extended sell-off, we should see Ripple's XRP avoid 1720s and below. Looking at Ripple's XRP against the dollar, daily candlestick and the MACD, histograms are narrowing, again supporting possible bullish crossover for the day. Avoiding on the trend analysis, that key support level at 1690 remains key. There is a minor support level at 1750, a breakthrough that would support a move through to 18s. To maintain that near-term bullish trend, however, we're going to need to see Ripple's XRP break out from 20s to bring this first key resistance level at 2150 into play, and then a move through to the 23s, and then a breakout from 2357. So avoiding the day's pivots and support levels should support a move towards 18s and then a breakout from there.